This year, 2018, I decided to specifically set my stall on catching a PB common. It's been a long time coming. My PB was set at £40.12 or so, and that was over 8 years ago now from Lynch Hill, Christchurch. So this year I thought, you know, a 40 odd pound common with some of the waters that I'm fishing is really accessible. Bluebell Swan Lake. It's one of my favourite venues in the country, if I'm honest, and I've not really got much chance to get down and fish it much this year. Been really busy with work and with various other bits and pieces, so I'd not actually fished it since March. I'd planned a couple of trips in sort of towards the end of September. I knew work would be a little bit quieter, and so I booked a couple of days off. I've turned up on a Sunday morning, as I normally do. My days off at work are Sundays and Mondays, which is brilliant for fishing. And on this particular occasion, I'd booked the Tuesday and Wednesday as holiday. So I had 3 solid nights to really get my teeth into bluebells and get on swan and really try and catch a few. And I'd not really heard a lot through the year. The guys that I had spoke to that had fished it said it had been really hard going. The lake was slightly different this year to any other year in that it was fairly coloured, normally is clear, so there was no weed growth, and the bottom just seemed to be a little bit siltier than normal, and there was a lot of like dead black weed and stuff. So normally it's crystal clear, nice fresh green weed, lots of clear areas and all of that, but this year was different and the fishing had suffered because of it as well. So not a lot had been caught, and in recent weeks a handful of fish had been caught, mainly on single hook baits. Zigs had scored quite well as well through the year, but the fish had never really got their heads down and fed. The way I see it is I'm not driving halfway across the country just to chuck a zig out, because it's not something that I enjoy doing, and although not a lot had been caught on bait, I thought I'd at least give it a go for a night anyway and see what happens. On turning up in the morning, it was fairly quiet. Over on the far bank from where I was stood, there was 3 empty pegs, so I decided just to head over there. It's not normally too bad an area. It's an area that I've caught fish from before. So I set up on one of the point swims and had a quick plumb around, and wherever I cast, everything was identical. I just got the same drop, and I was just put a little grappler lead on, and I was just coming back with just little bits of dead black weed everywhere. There was nothing that was clear out there, so I didn't really find any features, anything specific to fish to. I would have liked to have found something a bit clearer, but there was just nothing out there. So basically I just clipped the rods up to about 65, 70 yards and thought I'll put a bit of bait in and that'll be my feature. So Ronnie rigs, 3 on the spot, same as I pretty much do for most of my fishing, and I probably put about, I don't know, 2.5 kilos, real tight, just kept drumming that spod down the same hole over the top. So I'm excited to be there, but I was quite down from talking to everyone about how bad it was fishing, kind of questioning whether I'm taking the right approach, whether I need to chuck a single out, whether I need to chuck a zig out. But to be honest, I just thought, I've had it loads of times where people say this and that and you've got to be doing this, and I just do my own thing and it works. So I thought I'd at least give it 24 hours with 3 rods over the bait. I was actually on the phone to my good mate Bart. I was saying about how I don't think it's going to happen, I don't think he's right for it, even though I'd seen a few fish showing in the area. But what everyone had been saying about nothing getting caught on bait, I said to Bart, if I don't have anything by 10 in the morning, I'm just going to pack up and go to my syndicate lake on Farriers. I'm just going to give it the night and see what happens. And whilst I'm on the phone to him, lo and behold, the right-hander's just melted off. First morning and I'm into a fish. So he's kited around, he started kiting a little bit to the left and he's plodding around, feels like quite a good one. And then the middle rod's gone. At first, I thought it was the fish had kited over the other line and picked it up. Fishing free so tight, that sometimes happens. But when I looked at the angles of the lines, the middle rod was kiting left and the fish I had on, the right-hander, was kiting right. So, Christ, you know, from nothing to all of a sudden having a double take. So I've worked at the first fish and got it sort of 3/4 of the way in, but I'm quite conscious that the second fish is kiting on a tight line round to the left. And if it had gone too much further, it would be picking up someone else's line. So I've had to put the first rod down, pick up the second rod, get that one halfway in, then I've put that rod down, picked up the first one. I'm in a right pickle, to be honest, you know. I'm not ready, I'm not kitted out for this. I didn't think I was going to get a bite, let alone 2 at once. Anyway, the first fish has popped up, and as it's hit the surface, at first I thought it was the big common. This fish has popped up and the length of it was colossal, and I thought, that's it, that's the big common, it's got to be. And it wasn't until it's just as I've got it led flat and it rolled over on the surface, just off the end of the net, that I realised it wasn't the big common that I thought it was. But still, I knew it was a good one, and I knew it was going to be over 40. Well, there we have it. What an unusual common, but still, it's a new PB for me at 41 pounds 6 ounces. It really is an unusual character. He's got a sort of big dent in his tummy, almost like it may have been tethered or something at a younger age, but if he had a full belly, it'd probably be sort of upper 40, but it's a character fish, and I'm well pleased to have caught this one. Up pops the second one. It is a mid-20, and all I've done a couple of quick shots of that one and got that one back, and just as I've done so, the third rod's gone. So all 3 rods have now gone, and I've played the third one in. That come in fairly easy, didn't give too much of an account of itself, but it was a nice mirror again, 24.5 pounds. So you know, going from being all depressed, doom and gloom, not having anything, to having pretty much a triple take, you know, I was absolutely buzzing, and the fish were on the bait clearly. Slipped her back and I got all 3 rods. Oh, and we got another take. Halfway through talking about last week, and I'm actually over on Kingfisher this week. Just got the rods out about 3 or 4 hours ago, and we're into a carp. Hey! Feels like a proper big in this. Really slow, plodding around. Go on, Lee. Go on, son. Yes! Oh. Mate, that's a proper one, isn't it? What have we got, Lee? Good un? Yes! That's 40 all day long. Yeah. Wow, I don't normally take too kindly to being interrupted during filming, but whoa, what can I say? We're just talking about me catching a 41.6 last week, and we've got one even bigger here. 43 pounds 4 ounces, I think it was, off the top of my head, and it is a fish I recognise is crinkle tail. Wow, to catch this live for camera, absolutely blown away. What a fish from Kingfisher. I've only been here about 5 hours as well. Got down this morning, seen a few fish fizzing, a couple show, set up, got some bait out. I had 2 bream after an hour, and then it rattled off with one of these. Couldn't be any more pleased with this. What a beautiful big common. Crinkle tail, one last time. 43 pounds 4 ounces. Let's get her back. Okay. Yeah, she's good. Yes. Oh, wow. Where were we? It's not every day you get interrupted by a 43 pound common. I think I just slipped back the 41.6 common on Swan. That's where we were up to. So yeah, I put that one back, and I actually topped up. I put another 5 spods out over the top and got the rigs back up on the money, and they were sorted basically. And I probably waited another hour or so, and then the rod's gone again, and this one again felt like a proper lump and it's stayed deep and plodded around, you know, a typical big fish fight. And the fish I'm after, there's one called the perfect common. It doesn't come out very often, but it could be touching 50 pound. And when the fish has popped up, I literally thought that that was it. It was massive. It just led there on his side, you know, just past the landing net, and I almost gave a cheer. I thought it was the 50 pound common, so slipped the net under it, and I still think he's the big one. It wasn't until I really took a closer look, I could just see a patch of scales towards his back that were just slightly twisted, and then I realised it wasn't the perfect common, but it was a big fish. So we hoiked it up onto the scales, and after zeroing them, and she pulled the needle round to 46 pound on the nose. So I've broken my PB twice in just a little over an hour. So as you can imagine, I'm absolutely on cloud nine. Oh my days. I've waited so many years for this creature to come along. 46 pounds on the nose. New PB common. Such a big frame on it. It's got width, depth. It's just beautiful. Everything a PB should be. I set the targets out for a big one, and I'd caught a big one. So it was really job done, to be honest. Nothing else was going to matter for the session. As I do, got the rod back out, everything on the money again, and this time it wasn't that long again. I don't know the exact time frame, but the rod's gone again, and again it felt like a good one. This one come in a little bit easier. It just kind of wallowed from side to side, and when it popped up, couldn't believe my eyes when I seen the size of it. This time it was a mirror, and it was 41 pound on the nose. So what an incredible morning. I've had some great fishing in my life, but to catch 3 40s in a morning is just ridiculous. Wow, what a fish. 41 pound on the nose. He's got a little bit of a kink in his back, but the width on it is incredible. Little red blotches on it, lovely, lovely scales. That is a proper swan warrior. And I don't really know what to expect for the second night. You know, to have that many fish, five fish the first night, you kind of think you're going to have quite a few the next night, but it was all quiet, and early morning it's ripped off, and I thought, here we go, we're back in again, and you're never going to believe it. Up pops one called the Parrot, and yeah, it looked big, and yes, it was another 40 pounder. 41 pound 8, I think it was. So what happened? Another 40 pounder. So that was the only bite I had that morning, and I was doing 3 nights. So the following morning, I had a couple more the following morning, a 21 common, and I had one real nice fish right at the end of the trip as I was packing up. Nice 35 pound 10 common. So that just rounded off the session nicely. At the end of the day, I just couldn't believe it. You know, I'd set my stall 2018. I want to catch a PB common, and to catch 3 40s in the morning is just incredible. But then to catch a 40 whilst talking about the 3 40s just makes it extra special. Can't believe what has just happened.